Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. As promised, finally we are going to look at ETH, so dedicated video about ETH. Where are we, what can we expect? If you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, those links are also in the description. Without further ado, let's start diving in. As I said, ETH, USD. We had quite the move up from the bottom, 30%-ish. If you had that on a 10x leverage, that would have been a 300% profit. So congratulations if you took it. I didn't. Same for BTC, what I explained yesterday, because I didn't like the weekend pump. I was hoping that we would go down, but we just kept on pumping. It was not really a good retrace to get into. This is kind of where we left off. We had this channel that was very much respected, but if you don't mind, I'm going to take it off because it's getting very ugly. We had this very long period where we're outside of the channel, so for me it becomes just now irrelevant. That's why I'm taking it off. Also, we need to extend here the volume profile, that we have a clear view of where we are. And just the one thing that I want to point out before we're going to zoom in is that we had here the lows, then we had the highs here, and then you can see that we exactly started bouncing at the golden pocket. That was 1350-ish, 1375. That is where we got the bounce, and then we just moved up higher. So nice to see that the golden pocket once again was very much respected. Now let's take this off. Then where we topped out yesterday was just shy of 1790. And why is that an important level? Because that is the high from this moment here. That is 10th of September. So there will be liquidity resigning, because you'll see a few daily candles at that level. So there's a nice liquidity to take out. Just above we still have the 78.6, and that is then measured from this high right here all the way to the lows here, and then the 78.6 is 1822. All right, let's start zooming in, because there it is getting interesting. A few trades that I would be looking to take on a little bit of a more local level. Well, call it local because we already had quite the dump down from yesterday, more than 6%. Also here, if you took it, that was a very nice trade. But the trade where I am now interested in is the golden pocket. If we are bouncing back up to 1740, 1742, that will be the golden pocket. Then we're making a lower high, and then to enter a short to go lower. But like I said earlier, we have that 1790 just ahead of us, and then we have the 78.6. And since we barely have any market structure above this golden pocket, also not in previous times. So if I scroll back and then I look at the tops, there was barely in a market structure. I think once we start moving up for ETH, we actually are not going to stop at the golden pocket. We're probably going to take out this high and the 1790, and maybe even the 78.6. So what I could imagine is that we do something like this, and then eventually we SFP it. That actually would be super nice. Liquidity here, liquidity from previous stops, 1790, and then we maybe leave that 78.6, or we do something like this, but then actually you don't really have an SFP. So this is too big of an SFP to really stop here, because if you then need to enter at this point, once the SFP is confirmed, then you have a very big wick towards that 78.6, and that's 2.5%. So there's not such a nice stop loss, because you need to place your stop loss just above the wick. So that is then not such a nice trade. But again, if we would take that 1790 to take out to then go lower, it would definitely trade it. If I see the right confirmation at the golden pocket, I will also take it, but a very, very tight stop loss. Like I said, then I'm afraid we are going much higher. Then to the downside, actually this is a very nice support and resistance level. So you could also just be creative a little bit with your fib retracement. Say, you know what, I'm putting underneath this low, and if we then going lower, take out the liquidity here, going to the golden pocket, 1650, and then to go higher. I will definitely trade that if we see something like a bullish divergence. Why am I saying be creative with your fib? Because of course you can also place it underneath this low or this low. The real gem, of course, would be if we go much lower to 1550, 1530, but of course then you're really inside of that value area that I just draw out, and once we start breaching that value area high, then it is most likely that we are going to make our way down. In this case, if the high is already in, you can see that the golden pocket lines up very nicely with that value area low. So to eventually go lower, retest it, say okay, we are back into the range, and then we are just making our way down, then to go to 1515, 1530, just dip below, get that liquidity, and then to go higher, that would be super nice. If this goes pretty fast, then I'm afraid we are also going to take out the lows, because also here there's just not so much market structure, and there's just a very nice opportunity to take out the liquidity here. This was also in the weekend, so it's just not so nice because BTC has the CME gap. ETH usually moves together with BTC, so with that being said, then I think once BTC starts filling up that CME gap, I think ETH will also drop down. Do not expect that will happen anytime soon. For now, I am just looking at this like, hey, could this top right now be something like a deviation, and then for us to break lower, and then you have this area right here that was above the value area high, that's your deviation. You get a breakdown, and then eventually we're going lower. And like I said, my most preferred area for now would be 15 to 1530, and on these smaller time frames, take out the liquidity here, or take the golden pocket, or take liquidity here. So those are already 3 trades that you're getting. Then let's quickly look at market Cipher. Looks pretty strong. We have bearish divergences all over the place, but so far they're not really playing out. So what I actually really want to see is the money flow really curving down, because this could just be another hump and then do something like this. But this actually would be super nice if the money flow comes down one more time, then we really have a much more confirmed cool off, and then eventually we are going lower. It is Wednesday. Usually that is a reversal day, as in the weekly high is usually being put in on a Wednesday. But there's a few things that concern me, and that is that the RSIs are here melting together, and usually they stay there for a while. I have done some back testing, and that is somewhere between 30 and 50 candles once they are melted. That would mean that we still have more time to go in this area or higher. Also you can see that the money flow nicely curves up now, just slightly back into the red, but especially those RSIs, those concern me a little bit. Also on the higher time frames like the 12-hour, the daily, they're just starting to melt together. This inward money flow did not happen anymore. I was looking at it, but because we just started pumping up, that money flow just was more straight. So I was looking at something like this, but then these were the days that we just starting to go higher. View up is pointed to the downside, but like I said, these RSIs is for now, for me, the most leading where I'm looking out for to take a trade. If you like these kinds of updates, guys, then please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, click the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And see you guys very, very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.